Don't think I don't know you're there. Show yourself. What? What are you doing on the bridge? What are you doing on the bridge?
It made it easier to find you.
Doesn't make much sense since you could see me from the hill. But I wasn't hiding though. I woke up here, assuming that I was meant to have another night. I was meant to have another nightmare.
Yes, yes.
Can you stop that?
Stop what?
The voice. I know Builder is still controlled. Of course it isn't, but it's more accurate. I don't want to be blinded by false hope. Get down there. Get down from there. So what, are you gonna try and get me into another nightmare or
I'm curious on how you made it here without anyone knowing.
must have subconsciously done it? After all, it doesn't seem like my mind has the graves. Probably because I haven't accepted it. Pains me to be back here, but I mean, I'm not actually here.
Such is the way of the subconscious, I suppose.
You could say that again. I mean, you know more about this than I do.
Of course.
So what exactly is it that you're doing here anyway? You said that you were curious of how I was here, but something's telling me you're here more than just that.
Curiosity is still the case.
What exactly are you curious about if it's not just this?
But for other things, then just this.
Okay, what what do you wanna you're being very confusing right now, but whatever. What else do you want to talk?
So, tell me,
Okay, let's hear it. That is something I would not expect from
how was it?
you. You would have to be a little more specific, Builder. I mean, I shouldn't really call you Builder, but
The power, the storm, whatever you call it.
I mean, the power is called the storm according to the version of me I fear the most.
Did you enjoy it?
If you're talking about if I enjoyed using the storm, I did not. All of that power, I almost killed someone. I almost killed no, not someone. I almost killed two people while using that power. You cannot expect me to enjoy that.
It's not like the two have it coming, to be fair.
One was a bounty hunter, and the other was and the other one hired the bounty hunter. I don't care. They may have deserved it, but there is no way that I'll stoop so low to kill anyone. That's a promise.
Stop being low.
Of course, you guys wouldn't know. All you know is to be evil and to torture me, to get me to use the power.
You were trying to defend
I
yourself.
wasn't defending myself, I was avenging Bruce. And even then, I never wanted to use the power. My hand was forced, and I never wanted to hurt people. Not to mention the fact that I didn't just real. Not to mention the fact that if you're here and my subconscious is more powerful than whatever influence you had over it.
They still forced your hand, and they paid the price.
Hero Brave paid the price, being beaten by a 10-year-old. Nether Pork and Flaming Piglin, they are hopefully not on the bad side of certain things. I haven't seen them in I haven't seen them in 3 years. That's only because that no one knows about the power. Pretty sure Hero Brave would have been crazy by now regarding that. We got to, and I can't visit this. I forgot that. Okay, I probably should have thought that through. Making him forget about the storm, but doesn't matter. I'm not going back to this place for a long time. All of that power, I am not going to use that. All of the strength that it gave me, I had the power to change the world, and yet I left it behind because of what it could do to me. That's something that'll never change.
What's wrong with that?
Having the power for no one to stand up to you. But if you have all of that power, then what's the point of any of this? If I have all of that power, is there really a point? There's no other use for power than destruction. No one will stand a chance against that power.
We don't have anything to fear anymore.
That's where you're wrong, Builder. Because there is one thing that I could fear when I have power like that.
Really now.
Yes. I'll never go back to using the power as much as you try to.
What could you possibly be afraid of when the moon bows at your feet?
What I could do in a blind rage. I remember what I did to Dylan when when he said that he killed Darwin. And that was only when I had no clue about the power. That's when it awakened. And then people like Netherpork, Flaming Piglin, Hero Brave, I used the power against them, and they were beaten by a gosh darn 10-year-old. I was afraid of what I could do if that power, if I was afraid of what I could do.
You say that as if those who opposed you were innocent.
They were. The Nether had nothing else to do because of the war that happened. He- Hero Brave may have wanted to kill me, but stop trying to make me think that what I did was good all those years ago because it wasn't, Builder. I had to live with the guilt that I could have stopped Bruce from dying. I could have taken care of Hero Brave. And I could have kept the power, but I didn't. Because that would change me. What could the power possibly do in a world where people have no way to oppose it if I do something wrong?
You could have stopped it. I could just given in from the start.
If I'd given in from the start, everything would have went wrong. Bruce, he would have known something's up.
None of this would have had to happen.
That's where you're wrong. If the storm was away, if I accepted the storm, I may have been able to stop Bruce. Then I wouldn't have known to stop the no. If the storm was if I accepted the storm, Bruce would still take that arrow for me. But the only thing that would have been different is that after the week that I took grieving Bruce and Darwin's loss, I still would have had to face the version of me I feared the most that night. I still would have discovered that about the power. I still would have went to the Nether to put Nether Pork to justice. I still would have. I still would have.
You still could have saved him.
No, I couldn't have. Bruce would still have taken that arrow for me because he had no idea that the power would have awakened. Hero Brave would still be in prison. If I accepted the power, I still would have tried to kill that Hero Brave. There is no outcome of that week where I could have saved Bruce. Where any of those events would have changed. There is no possible way that that would have changed. Bruce said himself, the power was meant to be surface, or the storm was meant to arrive when I was 16.
So what difference would it make if you just used it a little more?
Don't you dare! I used the power enough.
You said it, not me.
There is no outcome of that event that would have changed if I used the power more. No one told me how to use this power. The only events that would have changed if I accepted the power is if I went through with killing Hero Brave.
You said there would be no change. So what steers you away from it?
That the power would manipulate my actions. If it wasn't for me remembering what Bruce said, I probably would have killed Hero Brave. And then, what would everyone else think of me? The security, Dylan. What would the Nether think of me? What would anyone think of me if they found out that I killed someone when I was 10? The power.
How would most of them know?
Just because no one's seen it doesn't mean it didn't happen, Builder. The speed, the resistance, the strength, everything that the power gave me it isn't worth just keeping it around.
You've done a good job of keeping everything a secret thus far. How did they know?
I may have done a good job keeping it a secret, but I can assure you, Builder, that it hurts keeping it a secret. It hurts really bad. I don't care if they know, but I just care that they see my side of it. We're done here, Builder.
There's a way to take that pain away. You just won't accept it.
I'll never accept the storm, Builder. Oh, and by the way,
What is it?
don't think that disguise fooled me. Nightmare.
Lights.
You know what I noticed? Ever since my Master Origins, you've been letting Builder do all the hard work with the nightmares. And I think it's because you're scared. When I was younger, I defeated you so many times, and it took, what, a couple of weeks for a new nightmare to surface with you in it? You're scared that when I defeat you now that the storm is unleashed, you might not be able to recover, and you would cease. Permanently. You see this? Version of me I fear the most? And this is only me after 3 years. If you ever try to make me use my power to hurt people or turn me again, this is what you will feel. Extinction. I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. Using my sorrow for Builder against me.
He's impressed you now. You're not in tune with the story that you made yourself to believe.
I can't believe I almost did that.